Going to take the two water bills first, because sometimes we find that people often testify in similar situations based on the bills or limit their testimony because it has been stated or people have similar thoughts and beliefs on the two bills.
Good morning, Senator Goodall and Representative Duchesne and esteemed members of the Natural Resources Committee. I haven't been before you this year yet, and it's always a pleasure, and I appreciate the adjustment in the schedule. I apologize for any inconvenience to those here. I represent District 37, 6 towns on the Blue Hill Peninsula, which include Blue Hill, Brooksville, Castine, Penobscot, Sedgwick, and Surrey. I'm here today to present LD 663, an act to clarify a municipality's authority to pass ordinances that govern the extraction of groundwater. While many might think that this bill is a reaction to recent issues with Poland Spring in southern Maine, it's not exclusively Poland Springs-based legislation. It has to do with the fundamental right to local control. As a select board member in Blue Hill for more than 15 years, I know how important it is that municipal officials not only know what is going on in their communities, but can protect the interest of those communities. Water has been sold from Poland Spring since 1860, when a Portland doctor first used it to help treat severe kidney diseases, and the resulting success led it to be advertised in the Brunswick Record. The water was sold out of the Boston offices in Boston. However, the first law granting any sort of municipal participation in the control of groundwater extraction wasn't passed until 1975. We went more than a century without any sort of regulation on this issue. And who knows how much environmental damage or economic loss Maine communities with groundwater such as springs must have incurred during that time frame. As I have thought about this issue, I have also spoken with the committee's analysts, and I would like to work on the language of this bill with the committee. While I initially used the term regulate to describe the municipality's stake in groundwater extraction, I think communities would be better served if the language said to control or prohibit. So wherever you see in that, in my proposed LD, though that word regulation, I would replace it with control or prohibit, in the proper form of that as it relates to how regulation is portrayed. What happens when groundwater is extracted should be a statewide standard to ensure all our waters are protected. And so regulation is in that domain. But these other issues, if municipalities were in the business of regulation, they would have to employ numerous and costly resources to monitor the extraction process and operations. However, it is imperative that the communities get a say in what happens in their own backyard. We have laws throughout our statutes that protect these rights. A town can decide if they want a transfer station or landfill located in their community. Municipalities can follow their own protocol in notifying residents of people moving in who have been convicted of certain dangerous crimes. And towns can make their own choices about whether or not to allow a big box store or housing development to happen. Groundwater extraction is the same premise. We learn more and more every day about how we are impacted by environmental choices that have been made in the past. In 1859, when Poland Spring first opened up to the public, we had little understanding of environmental issues. And this is not to say I am anti-Poland Spring. This company puts local people to work, and it should be a community's right to decide what kind of jobs they want to bring into their area. But all in all, it should be the townspeople who make that choice. Thank you for your consideration of this issue, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much, Representative Schatz. Are there any questions for the representative? Representative Ayotte.
Representative Schatz, I just have a quick one. Perhaps you can help me out. How would this new bill affect a private homeowner, a young couple that wants to build a home in your community? Do they have to go out and get a permit to get a well drilled? How would it affect the average homeowner?
Well, I don't think it would affect, it would make any changes at all in that type of use, no.
Thank you, Representative Ayala. Are there any other questions for Representative Schatz? Hearing none, thank you very much, Representative Schatz, for introducing this bill.
Thank you.
Just as a point of clarification, the two bills today, LD 663, as well as Representative Sardi's bill 645, are very similar in regards to municipal authority and so forth. And what we're going to do is we're going to hear both these bills simultaneously. And the reason we're doing that is because, in essence, when this committee goes into work session, we'll be dealing with these bills, in essence, as one, because they're very similar in nature. So it makes it's worthwhile for the committee, and I think it's a more efficient process that way. For you that are testifying, you don't have to stand up twice. You can give a concise and touch on both bills. So at this point, if the committee does not object, we will have Representative Sardi introduce his bill as well, and that way both bills.
Senator,
Yes.
they're calling me down on my committee. I'm here to read in Representative Schatz's bill. Could I read this and please?
By all means, Representative.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning. Senator Goodall, Representative Duchesne, and members of the Joint Standing Committee on Natural Resources. My name is Jim Campbell. I represent Representative District 138, which is Alfred, Shapley, Limerick, and Newfield. The basic goal of this bill is to clearly designate and defend the rights of municipalities to have home rule, authority over groundwater extraction above and beyond the jurisdiction of the Department of Environmental Protection. It does not limit or reduce DEP's authority in any way. The ordinance that has passed in my district reflects the needs and desires of the local residents to retain close control over our district's groundwater and resources. Maine's town water must be able to maintain their democratic authority and right to control and prohibit commercial water extraction within their municipalities. LD 663 is the first step in the right direction to protect municipalities' right to govern groundwater and extraction within its jurisdiction. In order to meet these goals, this committee should support and propose amendments by Representative Schatz so that Maine's town can control and prohibit commercial water extractions within their municipality. I urge the committee to vote ought to pass as amended according to the amendment offered by Representative Schatz, and I am happy to take any questions. And I'll add to this that my town just passed an ordinance last Saturday, and Shapley has been torn between back and forth. But one of the representatives from the Water District of Alfred met in front of Health and Human Services a couple of weeks ago, and I asked him how many people in their water district, their town water, use the supply. He said about 25%. I said, if the other 3/4 jumped in, could you then accommodate Nestle? And he said no. My other town, Limerick, they have a water district. My town, Newfield and Shapley, does not have a water district, but someday they might want to have one. And we don't want anybody in there pumping 24/7 and infringing on our rights. Groundwater is a very important thing. I'll be coming in front of you with a bill of my own that I took out of Vermont. Vermont protects their groundwater and surface water. We only protect our surface water. And it's probably another week or two I'll be back to see you. So, anything else?
Thank you very much, Representative. Are there any questions for the good representative? Hearing none, thank you very much for your testimony.
Thank you very much for taking me.